you better. Cause you want this, I want this. Everybody in this world should have it. Stop illusions, it's in your hands. Show yourself, reveal it to them. Yeah, you better. Take the time to recognize it. You won't leave me even if you try it. You're the artist and the mess, and happily be found the new in your hands.
What's up? What's up? What's up, world? Happy Friday. Happy Friday. What is going on? Welcome to Biohack Your Best Life Special Edition Unlimited. Okay, Elisabeth Carson. I am here. And I have feedback. I just had to turn that off. Okay, that's good. That's good. What's up, people? How's everybody doing on this Friday night? I'm so glad that everyone is gonna, that is going to spend some time with me today. I will be talking all about brainwave states and what each brainwave, does for the body and what it feels like, what they're for, etc., etc. So it's going to be a lot of really great information today, and I hope you guys stay with me. What's up, Amanda? What's up, Sandra? Guys, I'm also going to be guiding a meditation after I finish teaching about brainwaves, because I want you guys to go into this meditation and really feel what it feels like to hit some of these states. So, yeah, it's going to be fantastic. A really, really great evening. Lots of information coming at you guys on Biohack Your Best Life. And I am doing great, guys. I really am. This has been a lovely week so far. I've gotten so much work done. It's like the first week that I've been home for this full time and not traveled anywhere. So I've really had a big chance to catch up on some stuff. So it's been good being home. But yes, you guys, I have like so many incredible things happening this year. I just got off the phone talking to my great friend Lamitashi Norbu, who I'm partnering on these worldwide tours. We are taking people to the Himalayas and to Bhutan in October, and I cannot wait. We just got off the phone together, and he's out in LA right now. He's about to do a couple events out there. Such a great human being. I mean, anybody that commits their life to being a monk or a nun, right? And literally commits their whole entire life to God's source universe, and it's just all that just discipline that you have to have is incredible. Incredible. So yeah, it's going to be an amazing tour, guys. If you haven't checked it out, my website is elisabethunlimited.com. Make sure you guys check it out and all the other events that I have going on. But without further ado, I want to teach you guys today about brainwave states, all right? Because brainwave states are important. And the more that you can train yourself to feel what it feels like to be in these different states, the more you can train yourself on how to be a productive human being, on how to heal trauma, heal the body even, right? Manifest your best life, visualize things and pull realities in towards you, quantum jump into other timelines. This is all, you're able to do all of these different things in different brainwave states. So it is very important for us to start to learn how to get into these states, what they feel like, and what they provide for us, so that we can have more control over our lives, ourselves, and everything else. So, guys, I will be teaching today all about brainwave states and what they do for the body. So think about it, guys. Right now, everyone's brain right here is firing about 86 billion neurons. All right. And that's tons and tons of energy. And these are all producing electrical rhythms that literally determine the reality that you experience. And the crazy part about it is that most people are stuck in one dominant brainwave state all day, which is stress mode, fight or flight, right? People are stuck like that, especially with all the stress going on in the world. I mean, we went through the whole global sickness, and now we're going through the whole dismantling of systems happening and exposure of craziness. I mean, it's just wild in the world. So most of us are literally walking around in fight or flight with one dominant brainwave state, which is beta. high beta, and you never really get to access the states where creativity and healing and breakthrough actually happen. And your brain, something about your brain, your brain was never designed to meditate. All right. Your brain was designed to detect threats. All right. And keep you alive. So, a huge amount of brain tissue is actually devoted to scanning the entire environment for danger. And this made sense back in the day when we used to live with predatory animals like tigers and lions. And that makes sense, right? So the problem is nowadays our brains are still running on that same program, even when there's no threat. There's no lions, there's no tigers. We're not about to get eaten by, an animal. So now there's no threats like coming at us, right? Our lives are not in danger. So that now our brain will literally invent threats, right? Because the brain is a prediction machine, and it defaults back to the worst thing that has happened to you and the worst thing that could happen tomorrow. So when you're not thinking, right, when you're not focused, when you're not like here with me, then your default mode network turns on, and your default mode will literally recreate patterns of trauma, toxicity. I mean, you're ruminating, you're worried about the past, and you're predicting a crazy, terrible future. So this is natural, right? This is how our brains naturally work. And this is, how we have to learn how to train ourselves out of these patterns, right? So we can learn how to stay focused, but yet still be kind of not disassociated, but in these brainwave states of calm and relaxation, right? So you can still you can learn how to train these states over time. So the brain, it prioritizes safety, right? So primarily a huge portion, like I was saying earlier, is turned on detecting danger and threats, negative experiences, or potential things that could happen that are bad, risks, okay? And this is called the negativity bias, right? Your brain would rather assume danger and be wrong than assume safety and then be eaten, right? So it will always like search out for danger. So something very interesting, after they invented the EEGs, and you can actually read your brainwave states, they started to do different studies on brainwave states and realize that brainwaves, the amount of activity that your brain is happening within your brain, it has less than a 5% differentiation, whether you're awake, whether you're sleeping, whether you are thinking hard, and whether you are relaxing. So it's always working, right? Even when you're asleep, it literally stays active all the time. So your default mode, let's go back on that. So your default mode network is really, it turns on and it's responsible for self-reflection, all right, rumination, replaying experiences, and predicting what threat could come. And when the DMN becomes dominant, then the brain starts to loop, all right? And the DMN is usually rooted in childhood trauma and from a fear place. So if there's no tigers outside or lions outside, right, the brain starts replaying the tiger that almost ate you yesterday and imagining that tiger that is probably going to eat you tomorrow. All right. That is the default mode. That is literally what is going through your mind. So your mind is ruminating on something that probably happened 5 years ago that doesn't matter. And now it is unconsciously detecting all the threats in your environment that could cause that thing that happened 5 years ago again. So now you're like pinning out for threats. And this is fight or flight. Okay, guys, this is when we are not, calm, peace, and centered and aligned. So the brain is a prediction machine. And when it has nothing to predict, then it really predicts catastrophe. Okay. So we can train the brain out of these automatic loops. All right. And that's, through meditation. There's so many different things that can reduce the activity of your default mode network. And I mean, it's consciousness. It's creating that space between stimulus and response. So you have that awareness, right? And meditation is one of the major and most effective things at helping calming your default mode network down. And meditation has actually even been shown over years. I mean, they did studies that meditation increases gray matter in the brain, which is your processing power, right? It actually changes form of your brain. And the other crazy thing, they did a study on lifelong meditators that I think have done like over 500 hours of deep meditation. And what they've noticed from those brains of those people that are deep meditators is that the amygdala starts to prune away. It starts to like shrivel and shrink because it's not being activated anymore. So this is what I want you guys to start thinking about. It's like we want to be able to stay in the brain regions of our brains that keep us happy and connected and open, right? Away from the fear center, the amygdala. So yeah, these are all trainable. All of these things are trainable. And one of the best ways to start training brain wave states and start training your brain is consciousness awareness. And how do you create that? Well, you need to figure out what it feels like in these deep and different states that your brain waves are in. So your brain waves, they're basically electrical rhythms that are produced by your neurons, and they are measured in hertz, which is cycles per second. Okay. So it's kind of like if you're clapping, right? That's one clap per second. All right. That's hertz, a cycle per second. So if I have 1, 2, 3 per second, that's 3 cycles per second, 3 hertz. All right. So neurons communicate with each other by firing at specific rhythms. And these rhythms create patterns that correspond to different states of consciousness and activate different parts of your brain region. All right. So there are 5 different brainwave states. Okay. And delta brainwave states are between 1 and 4 hertz, and they are the slowest brain rhythms that we have. All right. And in delta, we are usually in deep sleep. Okay. And delta waves, when they dominate your brain. So another thing about brainwave states is that you don't always emit just one brainwave state at a time, right? It's just dominant. So if you have a lot of delta going on in your brain, that doesn't mean that you have 0 beta, 0 alpha, 0 theta, right? It just means that is the dominant brainwave state of your brain at that moment. So when delta is the dominant state, is in the dominant wave, then that is like deep meditation, right? Deep restorative sleep, trance states, okay? And delta states are extremely important for your repair. When you're in deep sleep, your brain washes itself literally with cerebral spinal fluid. Your lymphatic system turns on, and it's like washing away all of the toxins inside of your brain. So you want to make sure that in sleep, you're getting a good amount of deep sleep, which is that delta brainwave state. That is what you're basically in during deep sleep. So you want to make sure that you're getting that amount of deep sleep, because research shows that in delta, stem cell proliferation happens, which is multiplying of stem cells. All right. Immune system repair happens in delta. And tissue regeneration happens in delta. So deep sleep, which produces the biggest delta waves, is one of the most powerful healing states for the body, which is why I always talk about sleep being the most important baseline thing for health. If you're not getting good sleep, then your body is not going to be recovering. So this is something interesting to think about too with delta, that meditators that practice deep meditation, like Tibetan monks that go meditate for 1,000 hours in like caves and stuff, their delta waves, I mean, they can meditate and go into delta very easily. Okay. So that is for very experienced meditators, because within delta, like that is the realm of like no space and time. All right. So that can either it can be very ungrounding for a person that is not used to meditating a lot. And it can also push the ego forward, right? So we want to be careful when entering these states and moving through these states. But it takes practice. I mean, I can't get into delta when I'm meditating, and I've been meditating almost, I don't know, I would say now almost 15 years. And I don't think that I'm able to really get into those deep delta states. That's like for highly, highly advanced. And then in those realms, yeah, I heard in those realms, like manifestation happens like this. So you want to be careful going into these states. All right, let's talk about theta. I love theta. Theta is the realm of your self-conscious or subconscious. All right. And this is 4 to 8 hertz. And this brainwave state is associated with intuition and creativity, subconscious processing, visual imagery, all right, deep meditation. And theta is basically where the brain produces imagery. And this is where you get a lot of insights too. And this is strongly linked to memory and emotional processing. And some really, really amazing things that happen during this state when your brain is mostly in theta is that stem cell migration happens. So think about it. In delta, your stem cells are proliferating, right? They're multiplying. There's more of them. And theta basically migrates the stem cells to where they need to go. I mean, our bodies are seriously the most incredible just robots in the world. I mean, these systems are so in tune, like literally delta creates the stem cells, multiplies the stem cells, theta drives the stem cells to the places where they want to go. Just, I love this stuff. All right. So theta also increased antioxidant activity happens in theta. So it's very, very healing and detoxifying. And serotonin production increases when you're in theta, and so does DNA repair processes. So theta is a great state to be in to start regenerating and repairing the body. And REM sleep, you're in theta a lot of the time. So theta also closely corresponds to the frequency of the earth, which is so interesting. So the Schumann resonance is 7.8 hertz, right? And theta is between 4 and 8 hertz. And something that's super crazy that I just read about is that they did a study. They've recently done a study, and when healers work with clients, right? They whether it be Reiki or cranial sacral, even all of these different modalities, when they have their hands and they're healing their client, what is happening is that their brainwaves go into theta. And not only do they go into theta, but they are usually resonating right at 7.8 hertz, the Schumann resonance, which is the resonance of the earth. So that led me to believe that healers, you're basically just aligning with the super conscious connection of all, right? Which is the resonance of the earth is 7.8. So that has to be like a very important, the Schumann resonance is like literally what we live in, right? What we are standing on every day. So you're basically aligning with that, connecting to that superpower energy and flowing universal energy through your vessel into basically your client or whoever you're healing. I mean, it's like tapping into that perfect resonance is what I would assume that these healers are doing, which is incredible. I don't know. All this stuff is incredible to me. Okay. I want to be able to tap into the Schumann resonance and heal people. I mean, think about it. Think about Jesus back in the day. It leads me to believe all of these different things. Like, it used to be crazy to think that energy was a thing, right? That people could go like this and heal somebody, right? That all of these things that they're proving now by quantum physics and all of this new technology, EEGs, measuring our brainwave states. I mean, it leads you to believe things that happen, right? So Jesus, back in the day, when he was putting his hands on people to heal people, was he just putting his mind, right, getting his brain in resonance and basically his body in resonance with perfection, with alignment of universal superconscious energy, and then tapping that through his vessel into the next vessel in third dimension. Think about it. Blew my mind. Sorry, blew my mind when I read that. I was like, wait a second, what? Okay, but that makes sense. You know, if Jesus did it, we can do it. Abso-freaking-lutely. Anybody can do anything. Let me just take a moment. Anybody can do anything. You can do anything you want to in the world. You just have to remove the limiting beliefs and boom, it's done. You know, there's ancient tribes that still live to this day around the planet, right? And they literally, they make things with their hands, right? They communicate through their minds, right? And they think that we're weird because we use all these things to communicate, right? They think we're weird. There are still people on this planet living today that have these abilities, okay? Anything is possible. It is only us that stops it every single time. Only us. So once we can get rid of these limiting beliefs, we can uplift the collective consciousness into a higher level of consciousness, then we will all be able to start accessing these states. See, here's another thing that I started thinking about. And this is going left a little bit, but tell me what you think about this. So the collective, right? If the collective consciousness is resonating very low, at a very low frequency, you know, everybody's kind of just walking zombies, walking reactions, not in a very high vibe frequency, right? So think about the beings on the planet that are trying to ascend, that are conscious, right? Like you guys in the chat. What's up, guys? Like all my conscious people, all my light workers. Now, don't you think that if 80% of the world consciousness energy is here and you're trying to get up here, isn't it going to be harder for you because this is the equal level? This is the balance, right? I mean, you got the people down here, you got the people up here, but this is the balance. This is where the energy is held, right? So if I'm trying to elevate myself, it's going to be harder for me. But if the collective starts to elevate, then it will, you know, it'll help me to elevate as well, which is why one of my main goals is to elevate the world's consciousness, the collective consciousness, because then it will help us to be able to access these higher states of awareness, because then we won't be held down by the energy of everybody else around us. You see what I'm saying? Just thoughts, just some thoughts for you guys. These are the thoughts that I get, you know, daily. I just, yeah, think about these things. All right, let's get back to brainwaves. Let's talk about alpha, because alpha is also one of my favorite brainwave states. So alpha is one of the most important states, if you ask me. Theta is my favorite. Alpha is probably the most important. Alpha is literally the bridge between the conscious and subconscious processing. All right. And alpha occurs usually during relaxed, focused states, creative thinking, and, you know, ideas that are generated in theta, right? So that is your subconscious. That's like your deepest parts of yourself. Ideas that are generated there, they need alpha to be able to move that forward into your awareness. Okay. Without the bridge of alpha, then insights from deeper brain states will never reach the thinking mind. All right. And theta produces the ideas, but alpha is basically the bridge that brings those ideas into action. And most people with chronic stress or tons of trauma, they show extremely high beta activity and extremely low alpha, and extremely low theta and delta, actually. A PTS brain will literally look like high beta brainwave is all over their brain. They will have hardly any alpha, theta, and delta, okay? And so basically, alpha is the bridge between the subconscious insight and the conscious thought. So if that bridge is broken, which means you don't have great alpha, then that thought is weakened and sometimes it'll never get to the surface, right? So you want to make sure you have really great alpha brainwaves, okay? And then we have beta brainwave states, which is 12 to 30 hertz. 13 to 30 hertz. And this is where you guys are at right now. I mean, I'm in beta right now. I mean, we are problem solving, we're alert, we're thinking logically. However, too much of beta is linked to anxiety, hypervigilance, and chronic stress. And this is like literally you're stuck in panic mode if you're in high beta. Remember at the beginning of this, I told you guys that so many of us are stuck in one brainwave state. That's usually beta, right? That's usually high beta. And if we are not able to drop into alpha theta, right, even delta, then you will not ever be able to start reprogramming your subconscious, reprogramming your identities, identity loops that you have. Like, you will never be able to reprogram yourself from high beta. So it is incredibly important before starting to do the work to stabilize your nervous system, calm your brain down, right? Turn that freak out mode, the amygdala, right? Shut the amygdala down, bring the blood flow back into the prefrontal cortex, bring your high beta down, right? And so you can start to drop into these states where you can actually start doing the work, okay? So then the final wave is gamma brainwaves, which is the most interesting. This is the most interesting brainwave states to me. And these have been, this is the newest. They have just recently discovered gamma brainwave states because they couldn't measure them before because they're too high, too fast, right? And this is basically like 30 hertz and beyond. Usually when people get high hits of gamma, it's right around 60 hertz, okay? So gamma waves are associated with insight and learning, awareness, and intuition, those huge hits of intuition, those downloads, okay? And as I was reading about this too, they did a study on Tibetan monks, and Tibetan monks who have done hours and hours and hours of meditation, their gamma wave activity increased up to 700 times higher than your average person. All right. And gamma is usually, the signature of gamma is like heightened awareness. Okay. So gamma is literally, in my mind, I don't quote me, but when I do all this research and all of the stuff that I know about the brain and, all of the courses I've taken to learn about all of this stuff, what I think happens with miraculous healings and things like that is that these people, they are literally in these deep meditative states, and so deep in the meditative state that boom, they get this hit of gamma, right? And then this gamma wave, it stays because they're so deep in meditation that the gamma, it stays. And as gamma happens within the physical body, things start to regenerate and heal. Like, gamma is incredible for the body. So I read a study. They did a study on mice, okay? And they found these mice and they were able to push these mice, basically their brainwave states, into gamma by using lights or something. So they had the mice over here and the mice over here. In this place, they shined this light at these mice, these lights at these mice, and had them stay in this gamma brainwave state for an hour, okay? Now, after these mice, right? After this hour, these mice did not have gamma, these lights flashing at them to increase gamma. These mice over here did. Do you know that the mice that received the hour of the gamma and their brain waves sunk into gamma, do you know that these mice had 50% less beta amyloid plaques in their brains after that? And if you guys don't know, beta amyloid plaque is what they now know cause Alzheimer's and dementia. This is literally brain, like, just pruning away. So I'm thinking these Joe Dispenza retreats, these places where these people have these miraculous healings and have been stuck in a wheelchair all their lives, right? They're in such deep meditative states and they're staying in such high gamma for such a long time that I feel, don't quote me, this is what I think that resonance goes through their body, and literally the frequency that is happening within their state, it gets rid of everything that does not serve the highest good of the vessel, which means like gets rid of bacteria, viruses, freaking, I mean, any type of dysfunction inside of the vessel. If you're in gamma for extended periods of time, I think it will heal all. That's just my personal opinion. Think about it. Think about it. That's such a high resonance frequency to be in, right? Okay, and then also, so in order to be able to access gamma, you have to have healthy other states, right? Other brainwave states. They have to be healthy. I don't think it's possible to access gamma on a beta wave, okay? Because basically what happens, I'm gonna try to draw a picture for you guys. So delta waves are the big, long waves, right? And so as you have a delta wave, a big delta wave, it's big. And so what's gonna happen at the top, sometimes at the top of these waves, this is when you get your hit of gamma, right? So if you look at a machine. Let me see if I can actually find a picture so I can show you guys, because then you can see what I'm talking about. I have a picture of myself. Actually, I'm gonna find that later for you guys, because I had my brain waves. I had a brain map done, which is where they check your brain waves and how functional or dysfunctional your brain is acting. And basically the states, like you can read where these different brainwave states are happening within you. Okay, back to gamma. So as the delta wave is going up and down, as it hits the top, that's where you'll get that hit of gamma. Same with alpha, right? As that alpha wave hits the top, sometimes you'll get that hit of gamma. And theta. I don't think beta, because beta goes too fast, right? So delta is the long wave. And then you have theta, which is a little bit more. And then you have alpha, which is a little bit more. But beta is kind of like this. So that's not extended enough time to be able to get those hits of gamma. So it has to be like the longer waves. So I basically call these waves like a carrier wave for gamma. So you have to make sure that you're able and healthy in these other brainwave states as well to even be able to access gamma, which is a hard state for people to access sometimes. So, I mean, it's just incredible what you're able to do in these states of meditation, guys. And really, it's meditation. And I really, meditation can happen anywhere too. So let's think about this right now for a second. So have you guys ever had a brilliant idea in the shower? I know I've had many brilliant ideas in the shower. Well, that is usually alpha. You're usually in alpha. And have you ever solved the problem right away as you were falling asleep? Because I do that quite often, actually. Do you guys do that? Does that happen to anybody? Well, if you do, and you have, then you're in theta. That's usually theta, all right? And then have you ever suddenly truly understood something so deeply that it literally hit every cell in your body, like that deep understanding? Sometimes someone will tell me something 10 million times, but it takes that 10 million and one thing, and then I'm like, boom, and it suddenly, it like hits me inside of my body, and I'm like, I have this deep understanding of it, finally. That is gamma, okay? Or downloads, right? Downloads, maybe even in psychedelic journeys, if you indulge, you'll get, that's usually when you're gonna get tons of hits of gamma in psychedelic journeys. That's that boom, like that whoa, flow, and you're literally connected to everything. That's what gamma feels like. So things that help and increase different brainwave states in life. Obviously, meditation. Meditation increases alpha and theta and even delta, and it improves emotional regulation. I talk about meditation all the time. Breath work. Breath work helps to activate the vagus nerve, shifting the brain out of beta into theta, right? Beta is that like high focus, sometimes anxiety brain. So when you breathe, it brings you out of beta into theta. Binaural beats or entrainment music. I mean, you guys can check out my channel. I have different meditations that I've hosted. And in these meditations, I was sure to use alpha entrainment music and theta entrainment music, because specifically my meditations are to rewire deep parts of yourself and then also attract in your best stuff, right? And to be able to kind of get into your subconscious to where you can lay down affirmations. And for those affirmations to become true in reality, you have to be able to drop down into alpha theta. So that is why I use alpha theta entrainment music for my meditations. So those or binaural beats can help you to train those parts and those waves of your brain. Yoga also helps increase alpha and theta activity, and cold exposure. So cold exposure also helps you to activate your vagus nerve, which will help to move you into alpha. But I would recommend for women, cold exposure, don't do it all the time, because we have different cycles that that interact differently with different things throughout the months. It's so complicated what women have to go through. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, I can't do the sauna that week because it's this part of my cycle. Oh wait, I can't cold plunge today because it's like 3 days before my cycle and I don't want to get myself out of whack. It's like, freaking A, man. And then we get the pain, and then like we get the babies, and we have to have the babies, and then we carry the babies for 9 months, which is almost a full year. And those babies be sucking out just all of our vitality and our youngness. And it's like, dang, man, we're incredible creatures. We really, really are. Sorry, we are. Okay. We really are. All right. Back to things that can help you. Journaling, visualization. Optimize your sleep. Gratitude practices increase gamma synchronization. Okay. So gratitude is one of the best things that anybody can do to really get those hits of gamma, right? Because I really feel like when you're in gamma and when it takes over your brain, it's like that oneness. You're there, right? You become everything. Ego is gone and you just like literally dissolve into everything. So that's what I feel like gamma is. All right. So basically, you guys, your brains basically evolved to survive in a very dangerous world. And your brains did not evolve to experience happiness or peace. But when we learn to shift our brainwave states, then we gain access to parts of the mind that evolution basically never prioritized, which is healing and creativity and expanded awareness. Okay. So, yeah, that's basically it. So, if we can start to feel when we are in these states, then we can start to train these states more so and then hit these states when we need to access them. Okay. For me, I can feel myself in high beta. When I'm in high beta, I'm doing breath work, I'm doing deep breathing. I'm always trying to drop down into even alpha usually. I love being in alpha. That's kind of flow state. You can literally just work. Like today, for instance, I was sitting at my computer for like 4 hours. I'm like, where did the time go? But I got so much done. That's literally flow. You lose sense of time. And it's that creative source power that you're connected to when you're in these states. It's incredible. All right. I'm going to go through some of these questions. I know you guys were asking me a couple things throughout, and I don't want to miss anything. Let me see if I can find. I saw some question marks. Maybe I didn't. I do want to run you guys through a meditation because I want you guys to feel alpha and theta, maybe even theta tonight. Okay, I can't find the question, so maybe not. Have you experienced any regression sessions? Yes, I have experienced regression sessions. Yes, I have multiple actually. I had regression through craniosacral where I went back into my mother's womb, which was crazy. I had a regression session during high dose psilocybin and I re-experienced my birth again. And then I had 2 past life regressions sessions. One, I was like a dude and it was like, I was like living in a mud hut. And then the other one, I was a warrior. and I like lived in the trees, which is crazy because that came up in a different, when I did a journey, that came up in a different journey, which is crazy. And then another one, I was a medicine woman at like the beginning of time. It was crazy. So yeah. Does red light therapy help get into gamma? No, but red light therapy has been shown in some studies to increase alpha. So alpha and theta. I have read that before, Sandra. Is it not about this? Anything about peptide? Yes. Amanda, I think I've heard of it before. And I'm not sure if that is the one that I heard to be careful about or not. I will get back to you, Amanda, okay, about that one. Don't just remind me in our community, okay? And I will get back to you. All right, guys, I want to walk you through a meditation, if that's okay for everybody, because I want you guys to really feel what it feels like to be in these states. All right. So let me go in here. I'm just going to play a little bit of music. I'm going to turn it way down though, because I really want you guys to focus on my, let me see here. I want you guys to focus on my voice for the most part. So let me see here. Let me see. Can you guys hear this? Let me know if you can hear this. Let me know if you can hear my voice and if you can hear this in the chat. Give me some fireballs if this is good. If this is good tone, you guys can still hear my voice. Everything is cool, but you can still hear a little bit of that music because that music is theta entrainment, guys. We are listening to theta entrainment music right now. Let me know. Yes. Okay. All right. Thank you. Awesome. Okay. All right, guys. So I want everybody to pull over if you're driving. Hopefully no one's driving. All right. I want everybody to breathe really, really deeply as you possibly can. And as you're taking these deep breaths, I want you to start to tap on your karate chop point, which is right between your wrist and pinky, that area right on your hand. I want you guys to breathe deeply and just tap slowly on your karate chop point. All right, now breathe in through the heart, okay? While you're tapping slowly. And breathe out through your heart. So in through your heart and out through your heart. Now I want you to tap underneath your nose, all while breathing in through your heart and out through your heart while tapping. And close your eyes now. If your eyes are not closed, close your eyes still while tapping. Now tap below your lip, right? Underneath your lip, above your chin. And as your eyes are closed and you're breathing in and out of your heart, I want you to relax your tongue. Let your tongue fall to the bottom of your mouth. All right. Now you can tap on your chest with both hands. Just tap, and while you're tapping, I want you to picture an empty space, all the space between your eyes. While you're tapping on your chest, while your tongue is relaxed in your mouth, and you're breathing into your heart and out of your heart. All right, now I want you to relax your hands and start to slow breathe in and out. So breathe in 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. and then out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Big empty space between your eyes. Your tongue relaxed on the floor of your mouth. And you're breathing into your heart. Slow 6 breath in and 6 breath out of your heart. Deep breaths. Now, I want you to focus on that space between your eyes as your tongue is relaxed, and just feel how you feel right now. Feel how it feels to sit inside of this feeling, how your body feels. Keep breathing into your heart. Now keep focusing on that space between your eyes. And breathe love and compassion into your heart. Now, I want you to picture yourself sending a beam of love, a beam of compassion to a person or a place that brings you so much joy, so much happiness. And I want you to beam that light from your heart to that person and to that place. Relaxing your tongue and feeling that big empty space between your eyes. And I want you to now connect that energy to that person or place and surround them and fold them into that energy. 6 seconds in through your heart and 6 seconds out through your heart. Blowing that energy through your heart to that person or place that makes you feel so good and so much happiness. And expand that beam of love now. And I want you to expand that beam of love. I want that beam to touch every single atom in the entire universe. So picture that beam coming out from your heart and literally touching every single atom in the known universe. With that beam, breathing in through your heart and out through your heart. Big empty space between your eyes. Tongue relaxed on the floor of your mouth. The heart beam filling all the atoms everywhere in the universe. Now I want you to tighten that energy beam back. Go back to that place or that person that you were covering in that beam of energy. And detach that beam of energy and watch as that beam returns back to your heart, back into your body. And I want you to feel all of that energy inside of your body. Now I want you to feel inside of your body and direct that energy to a place inside of your body that needs it. A place that has some pain, some heaviness, some sadness, and direct that beam of love energy back into that place in your body and focus it there. While breathing deeply into the heart and out of the heart. focusing on that space, that big empty space between your eyes in the center of your head. And feel how that feels. Feel how it feels to cover that part of your body that's been needing your attention for so long that you haven't been able to address because of your busy days. Love that part of your body and send that energy there. Now, I want you to cover yourself in compassion and love. Deep breaths in, deep breaths out. And slowly now, come back into your body, wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. And slowly open your eyes. And now I want you all to notice something in your environment that is circular. Notice that. Now I want you to notice somewhere in your environment something green. I see my roadcaster over here has green buttons. And come back to us. Right now you are fully present back here with me. All right. So let me explain what just happened here, guys. Turn off this music, even though I love it so much. All right. So basically what just happened is we probably all went from beta, some of us high beta, and we dropped down into lower beta, into alpha. All right. And when I was telling you guys to notice the way that your body was feeling, that you were, your mind was feeling, how everything was feeling, you were probably in alpha at that moment. All right. So that is the doorway to your subconscious. That is the bridge. All right. That's the bridge from the unconscious, subconscious to the conscious. That is a beautiful state to be in. All right. And as we kept going further and we shifted into this imagery, right? And I was making you guys imagine these things inside of your mind's eye, that probably brought some of you guys into theta. It dropped you down even more into theta, right? And as we kept doing the deep breaths inside through our hearts, right? That probably dropped some of you guys down into theta. So it's like we started up here, right? You guys, I made you become aware and feel here in theta. And then I brought you through this imagery visualization, right? Theta, alpha, theta. And then I brought you back into the body, alpha, address the body, right? Now we're healing body. Now we're becoming awake, aware. And I wanted to keep you guys in that same meditative state as we opened our eyes so we wouldn't jump back into beta, all right? So that's why I made you guys become extremely present, because I didn't want you to automatically go back into toxic pattern thinking, default mode, network on. I wanted to let you feel that state of relaxation and evenness in the present moment, okay? And so that is what we're trying to do, guys. We're trying to take our meditation emotional states and bring them into our current living states. That is what we're trying to do. This is what I teach. I teach how to regulate your emotions, right? How to deal with unresolved trauma and such. This is what I teach this stuff. And it's just funny how people are, the little rumor that's going around about me right now. And it's just funny how I've dedicated almost my whole life to this type of information. And what the rumor is like the opposite of what I teach. It's really funny. Sorry. I had to sorry. Anyways, back to this, guys. All right. So I hope I brought you through feeling these different brainwave states. Sorry, I really had to address it because people still be commenting like, oh my God, you beat him up. Like, okay. First of all, guys, I'm 4'11". Yeah. Okay. So you guys now know what some of these brainwave states feel like. Okay. So now you kind of know whether you're there or whether you're not. So what I would do if I was you, out there, which is what I've done in my life, is I'm glad you're laughing, Amanda, because it is funny. Anyway, what I would do if I were you is I would start to try to do these meditations, focus on binaural beats, and maybe focus on alpha state for a while, right? Go train alpha for the next 30 days and listen to alpha binaural beats. Listen to some of my meditations, okay? And just try to feel yourself in that state with alpha binaural beats and sit there and let yourself get used to these different feelings, all right? And then theta entrainment. Try the next 30 days. Go into theta entrainment, theta binaural beats, and see how that feels like. I mean, we all know what it feels like. It feels like literally right before you're about to fall asleep. That's theta. That's why it's so hard to access theta, because you usually fall asleep every time. So I went to a retreat, neuroscience, basically like neurofeedback neuroscience retreat. And we were training alpha and theta, basically. And I went 2 times. So the next time that I went, I was deep training theta. And it was so hard for me, like the first couple of days of being there, to be in theta without falling asleep. We would be in these pods and they would have, EEGs, basically measuring our brainwave states as we were doing neurofeedback inside of these comfy little pods and these zero gravity chairs for hours. Okay. And it took me until day 3, I think, until I could sit in theta for a longer period of time than probably a minute or 2. You know what I'm saying? Because I fall asleep. It was like, boom, I'm out. So, but once you're able to feel that state, train that state, then that is where the magic happens. Literally, that's where the magic happens, is inside of these deeper states of awareness, because that is where you can reprogram and repattern your entire personality, identity, everything. I mean, I was talking to a client earlier today and they were saying, like, I don't even recognize parts of myself. And when I think about it, it's like, it's not even me. And I have the same thing. It's like some of my life, it wasn't even me who was behaving in these ways, because at this point, me now, never in a million years would I ever do some of the crazy things that I used to do back in the day. I mean, the first memory that popped up of me, like saying I would never do the things like I used to do back in the day, I ran through a gunfight to try to save somebody. And it was like my boy, right? My boy, who his name in the streets is Hex Murder. Hex Murder was my boy, okay? Literally my brother from Detroit. Shouts out to Hex. Big shout out to Hex. What up, though? My boy. Anyways, like my brother. So there was a gunfight at a club in Detroit way back in the day. And I didn't know where my boy was, where Hex was. And I was like, where's Hex? And I'm freaking out. So here's the club over here. Here's the parking lot. Here's the people. And the gunfight is happening here and here, right? They're shooting at each other here and here. And I'm over here like, where's Hex? Where's Hex? So I literally book it into the club, almost into the club. I got tackled because my other boy tackled me. Like, there's a whole gunfight. I heard bullets go through the air. And what's wild is I meet with my spiritual advisor almost every week, Chelsea. Shouts out to Chelsea. So when meeting with her, we've done shows on this too before. If you haven't checked out the show that I did with her, the live I did with her, you should check it out because it's so interesting. So she says, and what I believe too, is that we have 3 exit points during our life. Okay. So we plan our life before we come here, and we pick out 3 exit points. Do I want to die this date, or this date? And then we pick 3 instances on how we could die. Okay. The crazy thing about it was when I met with her and we did the live, we were talking about death days and everything. So the next meeting that I had with her, I wanted to know about my death day. I'm like, I want to know about my death day. And did I experience any of these almost deaths in my life? And she was like, yes, there was one time you experienced, I think it was either 1 or 2 out of the 3. And she was like, it was a bullet. She was like, a bullet almost hit you. And I God, what the heck? But it makes sense because she said that if my soul would have wanted to exit at that time, then the bullet, like I would have moved a little different and the bullet's energy would have moved a little different. You know what I'm saying? Like crazy. But anyways, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I used to be, long story short, I used to be crazy. So we are capable of repatterning and retraining everything about ourselves. Our personalities are based on our identity. Our identity is rooted in the patterns that we were taught from 0 to 7. So all we have to do is go back into those patterns, recreate them for our highest good. Now this changes our personality patterns because now it changes the way we're thinking. It changes the way we're acting. It changes the frequency we're carrying. So the people that we're attracting in our lives, like I love Detroit, but I'm not about to go hang out there and live there forever because it's just not my vibe anymore, right? I don't want to go to the hood and be there all day. It's just not my vibe. But back when I was 18, 19, I was there every day because my frequency, my vibration, my consciousness, that was the energy where I was at. But in doing all of this shadow work, all of this work that I've done, I have literally recreated who I am. There is no parts of me probably that would ever do some of the crazy stuff that I used to do back in the day. And a lot of us here, because a lot of us here have done a lot of work, we are different. We have grown. And if I'm able to go from being the kid that would run through gunfights to now speaking internationally and teaching thousands of people, then anybody can do anything. Literally. You know what I'm saying? Anybody. So that's why I teach the work, guys. That's why I teach this stuff, because I didn't know how to change myself back in the day. And so I've provided all you guys literally a roadmap on how to change yourself. Like my podcast. I have so much information on here. And let me actually do this real quick. I'll drop the applications for my coaching program inside of here real quick because I'm closing them in another week, guys. And I would love to see if I can work with some of you guys. It would be fantastic and amazing. I mean, my coaching program is going to be fantastic. You have to apply because I want people that are very serious about their healing. I don't want people that are not committed, because if you're not committed, I can't do anything for you. But if you're committed, then yes, I can help you. And so what we do with my group coaching is we have a meeting, okay? We do a deep dive, a full life audit, and I go through your entire life of physical, mental, and energetic, and I really kind of tweak things, right? I'm going to give you specific modalities. I'm going to give you some supplements. I'm going to do all of these little suggestions for you after our deep dive together. That is a specific protocol tailored for you and your life. And I'm able to do this. Why? Because I have experienced so many different modalities to bring myself back from all of the craziness that I used to live in. So I've also experienced so many different traumas. So what one trauma needs, another trauma would exasperate another trauma within you. This modality could be cool for this trauma, but it might re-traumatize that person because they went through something different. Now, I know these things because I've experienced so much, okay? It takes one to know one. It takes one to see one. So I can kind of see, it's like my intuition. I think this is the gift that God has given me to be able to read. Like I see people for their inner children, their trauma, and their highest timeline, their highest selves. Like I can literally see it. So then I just draw the little roadmap on how to get there. So within my group coaching, we do a full protocol. Then we do 2 meetings a month, and you guys are in a WhatsApp group with me, and with my other community members and my other coaching clients. And we are literally like a family. And I see some of my family in here. We have Scully and Amanda and Taryn. And, I see some of my guys in here. I mean, we roll deep, guys. No, I really love my community, and I love my group coaching and just my mentees and the people that I work with, because not only am I seeing massive amounts of growth and dedication from my people, but it's like my people are such good people at holding space for others, because we have all been traumatized, right? And it's all the most scary thing for a lot of us to do is be vulnerable because we think we're going to get judged, right? I mean, I've seen it. There was a guy in my community, and let me actually put the link in my community. If you guys want to join my free community, everybody in here is just the most fantastic freaking person ever. And this guy was having a really hard time last year. And here, I'm going to drop the link. This is my school community. If you guys have not joined, I really would love you to join. But he was having a very hard, is that the right link? That might not be the right link, guys. My bad. Maybe it is. But he posted in there about his hard time. And there was so many people that rushed to just be like, how can I help you? You know, what can I do to help you get through what you're going through? It wasn't judgment. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like, oh, you're weird. Stop saying that. Stop bringing us down. No, my people are healers. Okay. We're light workers. We all like to hold each other, because if you can't feel safe in a space, you cannot heal. It's impossible. You cannot be hypervigilant and heal. Your nervous system cannot be in sympathetic fight or flight, and any type of healing, anything happen with you, right? So safe space is number one. And that's what my coaching provides. So anywho, guys, I love you all so much. Do I have any questions? I love you. Oh my God, so many nice comments. I love you guys so much. You guys are the best. Seriously. I really, really think that it's going to be a very, very interesting and incredible year. I think next week, I think I'm going to do biohack. Yes, but I think I might do a pop-up episode on the systems and dark and light and spiritual warfare and dark energies that are getting exposed and systems that are getting broken down. And yeah, I think I'm going to do that, because we need to talk about what's about to happen so that everybody can be prepared. You know, I'm not saying be all fear and be all scared. I'm not fear mongering. I'm just saying be prepared, be educated, and know that things are going to get a lot crazier before they get better. Okay. But that's just life. That's like how life works. Like, look at all of us light workers. We upfront our trauma, right? I'm sure a lot of us here, okay, we've all experienced crazy amounts of trauma that snapped us awake through our pain, right, and suffering. And so now we're awake and healing so that we can now help others do the same. So a lot of, people on here have upfronted the trauma to be the ones that help the others inspire change and heal, right? So yeah, I mean, guys, we're all just out here trying to make it. And yeah, it's an interesting time to be alive and a very interesting time to be on the planet. And I'm actually happy to be right now on the planet, because I'm happy to be one of those souls that chose this time to live through this craziness so that I can help others live through this craziness. I mean, if you think about it, millennials, we have been through a lot of stuff. Like, talk about like crashes and pandemics and freaking 9/11. Like, we've been through a lot of crazy stuff. Like, it's wild out here. But I really feel like the wild is just getting exposed so that everything can be like bomb and like blow up, so that everything can just get dismantled and shattered and just broken and freaking just it's about time. It's about time for us to take our power back, right? Like the whole planet, not the 100 people, but us. It's time for us to take our power back, to take our health back, okay? To take our minds back that they've been stealing all of these years. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna actually do even next week biohack on that. Actually, guys, I'm gonna do biohack next week on Wednesday, okay? Because I'm taking my son to SeaWorld for his spring break. We've never been. So yeah, that'll be Friday. Next Friday is a day with my shorty Doo-Wop, who is 13 and all too in his teenage years now. Yeah. I'm gonna have to like go through this process of raising like a teenager and raising a teenager with like super attitude, because I mean, I had a big attitude. His daddy had a big attitude. So this little boy, as soon as I make it through this, though, I'll teach about it, because whoo, when I tell you guys, parenting he's my biggest teacher. My son is my biggest teacher, my very biggest. I'm having a problem with trauma release. I've tried everything on my own from what you've been teaching since 4BK, and you're still having trouble. Loso Montego, why don't you fill out my application, Loso Montego, for coaching, and we can meet, okay? And we can kind of try to see what's going on with you, and maybe I can help you inside of my coaching program, because I would love to do a direct, here's my application for coaching. Is it Loso? Sorry if I'm saying your name wrong, but fill out my application. Okay. We'll get a quick call set up and to see if we are a good fit for each other for coaching. And I'm sure that I could probably help you. There's different things that work for different traumas. Also, what I've been learning too through my brain certification course is that basically like there are different things that interact with the brain in different ways. So that is something kind of newer that people are not psychiatrists, and people like it's not mainstream science yet. So if you get the stamp of, say, ADD, then boom, they're going to put you on Adderall, some sort of stimulant. You know what I'm saying? But that honestly can make the brain worse in different ways and make the person worse in different ways, depending on what type of ADD they have. So there's different types. So Loso, that's what I'm saying. My group coaching is so good for people like you that are in that position, because I can meet with you one-on-one, and I can literally like work with you one-on-one to see exactly how I can tailor different things to you. Kate, you know what? Absolutely. So you're in my school program. Awesome. Kate and Loso, fill out my JOT form right there. I just put the link in the chat, so it should be in the chat if you would like to fill it out. And yeah, I would love to work with you guys. I mean, I would really, people, you can heal through people, have the right people around. Yes, you're very right. And Seth, I'm curious, silence kills. Definitely talk about it. At first you wanted to stay silent, but now definitely talk. So Gasparo, I'm talking about my group coaching application is here. And then I also have a school community where I'll put the link in again. I have a school community where we do challenges and we engage with each other and we support each other, and you can join it right there. And I hope you all do. It's fantastic. Seth, silence about what? What are we talking about? Silence, Seth. Okay, I think I'm gonna get out of here, guys. It's getting a little bit late and I want to hang out with my child. Yes, remotely. You can remotely join. It's an app. So school is an app. And then you just join my community. And then we do all sorts of fun stuff. And I drop different information in there from time to time as well. And I also do some posts and stuff. So I hope you guys all join me inside of my school community. Can awareness alone work to heal your trauma? That is a beautiful and amazing question. I would say yes, depending on the strength of your awareness. If that's such a complicated question. So what I would say is yes, it's the beginning of healing your trauma. So awareness is the start point. Like you cannot grow, you cannot heal if you're not even aware that it's there. So awareness dissipates for some reason. Kate Rogers, let me see if I can get somebody to help you really quick. Are you there? I'm going to ask my lovely assistants, Rusty and Teresi Poo Poo, if they can go ahead and drop it for you, Kate Rogers. Let me see. I'm going to see. Maybe I can just do it for you. 1 second, guys. Copy. I'm gonna put it in here for you. I wonder why it's not working. Let me see. Did it work this time? Did it work? And Tracy Poo Poo. Yeah. Oh, look, I call my Rusty Poo Poo too. So everybody that works with me gets a poo or a poo poo, not like in poo with a P, but poo as in like poo H. A lot of people that are going through any type of trauma, like suicide or anything that nature, are scared to talk about silence. Yeah, got you, Seth. Yes, you're right. Okay, back to real quick. Can awareness alone heal your trauma? So I feel like awareness will dissipate the energy of the feeling that the trauma gives you. So it's like the beginning point of that. And then putting awareness there will actually start to help you to kind of work whatever instance it is. But what I do believe is that shadow work is incredibly important. So you can't just do it from awareness and thought alone, because what happens with trauma is that when you experience it, it's basically like your nervous system not getting a chance to complete the stress response. So that gets imprinted in your physical body as an emotional charge, like a fractured memory, and like that will stay in you and create physical ailments later in life. So it's like you have to kind of do the work within the body too, to work the trauma out of the body. But if you're able to get into these deep states of meditation and ride the gamma wave for an hour, I'm sure that your trauma will probably be a lot healed from that, but it takes practice. So, I would say that, it's awareness is a great start. That's where you have to start, actually. And then Kate Rogers, I'm going to shoot me a message. Kate, if you could shoot me a message and I will DM you back the application. Okay. And then I'm also going to post it on my pages. I'll just post it on Facebook on my pages too, so you guys can have it there. And a lot of people that are going through any type of trauma, like suicide or anything of that nature, people are scared to talk about it. Silence keeps you stagnant. And that's so true. And it's very, very good that my community holds people, because it's a place where you can be outspoken and vulnerable, and you can know that you won't get judged, because we've all gone through it. And the older that I get and the more people that I work with, look, it's like everybody has a story, guys. We are not special. I mean, my life, it was crazy and riddled with trauma and torturous moments. But is my life any worse than anybody else's? Not even really. I talked to a guy last night that was being born while his mother was getting raped. Can you imagine? Like that energy? I thought I was bad with being abandoned, for the first moments of my life. But can you imagine? Like, everybody has a story, guys. Everybody has trauma. Even if you haven't had massive events happen in your life, trauma is not big or small. Trauma is just how the nervous system perceives the event. So it's not big or small. A kid could skim his knee, and this kid over there could be knocked out from falling and hitting his head. And their bodies could perceive that trauma, quote unquote, in the same way. Isn't that crazy? But it's literally how the body and the nervous system perceive the trauma. Okay. When will you be living in future? It's the first time I've seen you live. Unfortunately, I've lost. Oh, when will I be live in the future? Gotcha. So I am doing Biohack Your Best Life, which is unlimited, my unlimited podcast special edition episodes. So Biohack Your Best Life will usually be on Fridays around 7 or 8 Eastern. Next week, like I said, guys, I'm going to be doing my live on Wednesday. So if you want to join me on Wednesday next week, I will be live probably talking about this year and how to prepare for doomsday. It's like, no, I'm just joking. I'm not, there's no doomsday. I'm just joking, but just how to prepare for this crazy ass year, because what I do know is it will be crazy. And yeah, so just Fridays, guys, I'll be live. And I do plan on going live once a week because I missed you guys and I miss doing my lives too. So, but the best way to keep in touch with me is on my text me. If you're in the States, 954-539-1259. If you're in the States, or email me. If you're not, email me at connect@ElisabethUnlimited.com. And guys, my name is spelled with an S. And I'm going to get to your question in 2 seconds. Too pretty to pay bills. I will get to you in 2 seconds. That, or you can also go to my website. Guys, everything that I do is on my website. All right. So my podcasts, my coaching stuff. I mean, I do these 4-day transformations. I haven't really, too much super launched my 4-day transformations. I actually just did one though. And the beautiful soul that I worked with shifted completely, like looks like a brand new human being. It's literally more like it's jumping probably 100 levels in under 100 hours. Okay. That's what my transformations do. But that's all on my website. Plus my events. I mean, me and Dr. Brian Artis are going on a live podcast tour together. That's launched. I'll be doing a retreat with Maverick and Devon. I was just on their podcast, The Maverick Approach. Make sure you check that one out if you haven't seen it yet. It's dope. Yeah. All right. ADHD meds. My thoughts on them. My thoughts on any type of prescription medication is that honestly, and I'm not a doctor, number one. I don't have any medical licenses. I am just a person who is a nerd who studies this stuff and experiments on myself. So I teach from lived experience and reading thousands of books and researching all day. But I am not a doctor. But in my personal opinion, from what the research that I have personally done, and one of the, things that I used to do back in the day was Adderall. I used to take a lot of Adderall. What I know from that is that some brains it is not good for. Some ADHD or ADD, some parts of the brain are lower acting or higher acting, depending on what type you have. Because like I said earlier, there are different types of ADD and ADHD. There's different types. I mean, you could have high anxiety ADD where you're hypervigilant and acting crazy all the time. Or you could have the other kind of ADD where as you try to focus, everything shuts down. So you shut down, right? So if you give the person that's a stimulant, it's going to make them worse, right? So that's what I'm saying. Like it depends. It's very dependent on your brain and what is happening within your brain of what you need for it. So like there are things that increase serotonin, right? There are things that increase dopamine. So for instance, as I meet with my coaching clients, in some brains, if you're exhibiting habits of like low serotonin and high dopamine, I would give you a different diet regimen than I would the other person who is low in dopamine, high in serotonin. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's different. There's different chemicals in the body that create different things. There are different regions of the brain that turn on for different actions. And there are different energies that with the neurons that we just talked about, brain wave states that fire at different capacities to create brain waves. So there's all these different things that are happening inside of our bodies biologically all the time. So it really depends very specifically on what is good for the person. Now, there are some modalities and things that can help the broad amount of people, but I mean, that's why it's very good to be very specific about what you need for yourself. Because in doing over 100 different modalities, I will tell you that some of the things that I tried made me worse, didn't make me better. So, okay. Okay, guys, I don't see any more questions. I hope I answered the questions. I'm getting a little tired, so I'm going to go. If no one told you guys today, I love you and I love you all just for existing. I seriously do. And I challenge everybody on here to tell somebody else that you love them today. Okay. Love you guys so much. And I'll see you guys all next week. And yes, we need to discuss SSRIs. I got a lot to say about that. I got a lot. First of all, SSRIs, before I get out of here, work 20% of the time. Okay. 20%. 20% of the time. It's placebo. Okay. SSRI. Anyways, I'll get to that on it. Yep. Okay. All right. I love you guys. We'll do an entire episode on pharma drugs. How about that? Because I've studied a lot of them and what they do. And I've studied how the pharma drugs are one molecule usually away from something that is natural in nature. So they can patent it and monetize it. It's the systems that are going to be dismantled this year. So let's look forward to that. Okay. All right, guys. I love you guys so much. Hope you have a fantastic weekend. Oh, make sure that you check out my vlog that I made from Dubai that my awesome editor, Rusty, edited. And we're putting it out on Sunday. So make sure you guys check it out. I thought it was super cool. So, all right. Love you guys. Until next time, I will see you. Peace, peace.
This podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only. The views expressed are those of the hosts and guests and don't necessarily reflect those of the producers or affiliates. We do not guarantee the accuracy of the content. Please verify information and seek professional advice when needed. By listening, you agree not to hold us liable for any actions taken based on this content. Thank you for joining us on this journey. We hope you enjoy the episodes ahead. Love unlimited, feel unlimited.
Thank you so much for being here with me today. If you enjoyed this episode, I invite you to stay on this journey with me. There is so much more ahead. Courses, mentoring, healing circles, retreats, safe spaces to heal and grow. Make sure you subscribe, follow, and stay connected. We are not alone. In this journey, we're on it together.